one last chance
All you gotta do is pick them up and drop them off.
to save their jobs.
You sure this is gonna work? Just trust me.
Yo, what's up, money? You got a problem? Nah, yo, hold my poodle.
From Revolution Studios
Brittany and Tiffany Wilson. Sorry. They're new.
There is something different about the two of you.
comes a story of two guys
You're wearing the wrong underwear.
who are giving undercover the ultimate makeover. White chicks.
Take attention, Brittany.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Popular Review Entertainment. We are reviewing none other than White Chicks. My pick this time. Can't wait to start it. Start the show.
That's right. You know what he did? He put another record on.
You need dumb people in horror movies.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are doing White Chicks today. And, hey, I thought this movie was funny, man. We're going to talk about more in depth why I think it's funny, why it's going to get the thumbs up or the thumbs down it might deserve. We're going to talk about it. And I'm going to bring in my compadres here. We're going to start off with James. There you go. What's up?
What's going on? Sorry, I was just answering my Facebook messengers. They keep popping up on my screen over and over and over.
I just got why you said that because I just said something. Anyway, long story short, let's go ahead and bring in the other guy. We'll talk about the next doctor. What's going on? You're muted. You're muted.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Mm-hmm. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about not scary movie. Oh my gosh. We are talking about White Chicks, group of cops, FBI agents. What are they cops or FBI agents?
FBI agents.
Yeah, FBI.
Chris, this is your movie, right?
Smart ass. There's two FBI agents that
Take two.
Go undercover. Actually, they don't have to go undercover. They are assigned to protect some people. They end up going undercover so they can try to draw out the kidnappers, blah, blah, blah. A lot of chaos ensues. A lot of comedy ensues. I think this was the movie that might have put the Wayans brothers on the map as far as cinematic experience. And let's go ahead and talk about it. What you like, what you don't like. Let's go with you next doctor.
Wow. Okay. So I'd never seen this movie all the way through before now. I had seen clips of it, which I guess were all of the funny parts. So, hearing it was your movie, typically you got some decent taste. I figure, okay, maybe the whole thing as a whole could be pretty good. I start watching it. We got the Latino undercover in the bodega, vanilla ice cream. Okay. We get past that. We got the whole scene in the car. Oh no, sorry. We got the scene with him and his girlfriend in the apartment. Okay. We get the scene with them and the ones they're supposed to be protecting. This, I guess they were sisters, right? I don't know if that was ever really established.
The two white chicks were sisters. Yeah.
They were sisters. So
Tonight we're reviewing White Chicks, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who haven't seen it.
we get them in there, and the little chaos with the dog being in the front seat, and they're jumping on the dashboard. Okay. There were a lot of attempts at comedy, but it didn't really hit. And I don't know if it's because I just didn't like it, or if it was because of 2026. Now, I will say that I definitely did laugh during the movie. A lot of the stuff with Terry Crews was genuinely funny. But the titular characters, they were hit and miss. Definitely had some, again, laughs there. But was it enough to really carry the whole movie? I don't know. Because, I mean, when you talk about, I guess the part where they, they're in the shop trying on clothes, and he's trying to get into the clothes, and he can't really fit, and then his girlfriend's on the phone. Oh, who are you with? That trope's been done. I don't know. It just, a lot of this movie's comedy just didn't really grab me like I wanted it to. There were chuckles along the way, a couple of good laughs, again, Terry Crews, but I was expecting, because this is the Wayans, to have laughter at a high level throughout the entire thing, and that didn't get delivered to me. So that's what I really have to say.
Can I say my final thoughts on this movie as well?
James is in rare form tonight. Go ahead, James. Go ahead.
Listen, no, the doctor makes a valid point, though, not to belabor the point that we're talking about our initial thoughts in this movie, which is to say, and I guess it would be true for those who have seen it. For you, Doctor, you said you had never seen it except for the clips. So in a way, it was already tainted because you had already seen, as you say, the best bits. So you had nothing to look forward to or the memory of those best bits throughout or marbled throughout the movie. So I'm watching it when we do these movies that I've seen years before, especially with the comedy. Does it hold up to my memory being my last memory of watching a movie? And in this case, I hadn't seen it in quite some time. I do have a favorite part. I'm not going to get into whether or not it still has legs. I think that ties into the final thought as we release this around the release of Scary Movie 6, which I'm very interested to see if that franchise has legs, because I'm discounting everything from 2 to 6 because the Wayans weren't involved in those productions. But I will say Latrell did steal a lot of scenes. Of course, we have that famous audio, where's Latrell? On the dance floor, and he's hitting those glow sticks and popping and everything like that. I thought that was great. I thought the trope of them doing super gymnastic things for these prissy women got tiring after a while. But I probably thought that years ago when it came out. You know what I mean? Like, this is ridiculous. But again, when you see a certain movie, the premise, is ridiculous itself. You have to suspend your disbelief. Okay, I'm going to believe that people believe that these are really the Wilson sisters, I think it was, and that they can do these things now, after a year's absence. The same way when I see a Superman movie, okay, this guy, he dresses like this and he can fly around. I'm on board. I've signed up for it already. So I give that a pass. You know what I mean? I did like when they went to Latrell's house and his Asian housekeeper was there, and she's basically saying, you don't belong here. You're not here. And Sean basically ushers her out the house while he steals it. I thought that was hilarious because she's fighting for her life for that job, for her family she's trying to probably bring over. And this guy, it's just hilarious to me that somebody just knocks on a mansion, the door, the maid opens it up, and then she's just ushered outside as you take over. That's ultimate squatter move. And I thought that scene was particularly hilarious, probably more so than any of the other scenes, because just the thought of that cracks me up because it's so ridiculous.
I mean, speaking of fighting for his life,
oh, I'm sorry,
that Rottweiler too.
Thought it was my turn there. What'd you say?
I said, speaking of fighting for his life, that Rottweiler was really getting at him too in the same
I'm
place.
rewatching that in 4K and I'm realizing how they shot that scene, so it's interesting. So some things I watch, and it takes me out and I watch it. Oh, okay, that's how they did that. That's how they shot that. When he's grabbing the leg, you can see the padding in the calf section for the dog to bite onto to drag him into the room. You know what I mean? I thought that was interesting how they did that. Let me just say, I was not a fan originally of this character, nor was I a fan on rewatch. In fact, I was less of a fan. I don't know what Marlon is thinking about marrying a woman like that. As far as I saw, she didn't work. She just went to restaurants and ate. Why do you have an opinion about anything that I need to care about? Let alone, I just worked from like 6 or something in the morning to like 8 p.m. or whatever like that. I got one drink and I came home and I'm listening to you and you look like you just got out of bed. Please be quiet before the spirit of Ike Turner comes out. Please. Just do me a favor. Do me a solid. I saw a shooting star. And be quiet. Okay? I'll explain that if you're offended by that, ladies and gentlemen. I'll explain that. And I'll use a Sean Connery quote that he did. If you've never seen it, it's a famous interview with Barbara Walters. And it basically summed up in this. He's talking to, well, I can't really say. But he says what he would do. You have a disagreement with somebody, maybe your wife, and you said your piece, she said her piece, and then you go your separate ways. And then she comes back with more of her say. And you listen, and you listen, and you listen. You say, enough. And she doesn't want it to be enough. And he says, well, then you might give a little, something. And then Barbara Walters go, you're probably going to get a lot of mail. You might get a lot of mail from that. He goes, I might get a little female from it too. So I'm just saying, you're doing too much. And he's an FBI agent. He has to be undercover. You're not marrying somebody who's working, at the car wash, and it's nothing against the car wash, but they got more time maybe, on a slow day to answer the phones. Stop calling me while I'm at work. Number one, that's a big pet peeve. So I did not like her character. Her character did not age well. But I liked in this movie that anybody could get it. The black ones was getting it. The Asian ones was getting it. The white ones was getting it. The Latinos were getting it. It was equal discrimination. And that's the America that I dream about. That one day, all will be discriminated against equally. And we could live, what is the quote, hand in hand? I live near DC. I should know this. The point is, I'm just saying discrimination now and forever equally to everyone, not just my people. But anyway, Chris, back to you.
Comedy, man. Nobody talks about the dance scene, right? Yeah. The dance scene in the club was funny as hell. To see them go back and forth, and they couldn't even dance, any of them. I love the scene where the dude was trying to hit on the Wayans brothers, and they had like hold my purse and stuff. I mean, it was so many fun. I don't know what the next side's talking about. He might want to see a doctor because there were so many funny scenes. And yes, one thing that James said correctly was everybody got it, right? Shout out to Dexter's sister who was in this movie, and I didn't know Dexter's sister was in this movie until I got to see it. Again, it was funny. It was great. I loved every scene. I love every scene. Final word review next week here at Popular Review Entertainment. State what you're watching.
I'm supposed to pay rent, but I don't.
The trouble with being a vampire is you have to be invited in.
Come in to the bar, please. $4 is water.
Will you invite us in?
We need some fresh blood.
Hi, my name is Nick. I've been a vampire for 2 months. My friend Richie's a bouncer. He'll invite us in.
Gentlemen, you are most welcome.
Nick is so much fun.
I'm a vampire.
Vampire!
Such a...
What if I told you I could offer you something that would enable you to walk again? I call it STEM.
I am STEM, the system operating your body for you.
Can anybody else hear you?
No, only you. May I point something out? In the drone surveillance footage, Sir Brantner, Marine Corps, address 414 Citrus, Newgrounds.
Man, you are persistent.
I cannot allow us to be killed. We are going to finish the job we started.
Welcome back to Unpopular Review. I am the Black Guy. This is James. Down there is the next doctor. Now, we're going to get into our final thoughts. James, we'll start with you this time.
Before we conclude tonight's performance of Speed, let me just say, we cannot forget the scene that I think every so often plays in everybody's mind, which is basically where they recreate the Mike Tyson meme of, Mike, you look like you were hurt out there in the ring tonight during the fight. What happened? And he goes, my back is broken. And the reporter goes, what do you mean? It was a vertebrae? And he goes, spinal. We can't gloss over the fact that Latrell went out there and the guy who was trying to slip that OG Hollywood, I'm going to just call it OG Hollywood. He got the Looney Tunes reverse car pulled on him, and he got his back broken. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Waynes for being progressive, because it wasn't done in a, it was done in, well, that's what you get. You got your back broken. They're giving each other colorful looks throughout the rest of the movie. It was great. You know, there's a little mystery. Lord knows I love a little mystery. But let me just say this to get to my final thoughts, because I know I only have 20 seconds. Whenever Chris picks a movie, ladies and gentlemen, my first initial thought is, how can I give this more thumbs down? But I'm cursed with honesty and truth, as you all know. And I did enjoy this movie. And I'm forced, if only because he gave my movie, which is an old movie, and he was fair to that one, a thumbs up, I must give this one also a thumbs up.
Next doctor.
Speaking of not glossing over, we shouldn't gloss over the looks that same guy that got his back blown out was giving the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Is that part progressive too?
It's the pill, baby.
Like I said, there were some genuine laughs. You know, one of my favorite songs, and it was a favorite song of mine before this movie, was 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton. You know, that scene was definitely funny. And then I'd like to call back to it at the end of the movie with the real sisters as they're walking out with him as well. You know, and I do think that overall, it just wasn't funny enough. You know, there were some laughs, but would I want to see this again? Would I show this to someone and say, oh, yeah, this is a good work of the Wayans? I wouldn't. So, unfortunately, I would say this is a thumbs down. Unfortunately, we don't have the hairy one anymore, but it is what it is.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you have to forgive the next doctor. He doesn't know taste. This movie was funny. You know, I had to point out the funny scene of Terry Crews' character, I think his name was Latrell, when he found out that they weren't who they say they were. The look on his face alone, you know what I'm saying? This is not somebody who's known for Oscar performances, but the look on his face alone, a pure disgust. Yep. How dare you not be white? It just was common. Then we tried to explain it, he's like, bitch, please.
Yeah.
I love it. For that scene alone, and everything opposite of what Next Doctor says, this movie gets a thumbs up. 2 thumbs up, and one thing we neglect. You know, thank you so much for watching us here at Unpopular Review. Hopefully you all gave it a thumbs up too. The thumbs up this movie so richly deserves. For James, for Next Doctor, I'm the executive consultant, aka Black Guy, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Token. I don't even know if this movie deserves pushing over a kid.